Hello students, welcome to the topic of community organization and leadership. Today's lesson is leadership. In this, let us try to understand the concept of leadership, leadership theories and types, characteristics, functions and skills of leadership. Leading a team or group is a real skill that takes time, thought and dedication. At times, it may seem overwhelmingly complex, but by focusing on some fundamentals, it is possible to lead the team with confidence and skill. What is the meaning of leadership? Leadership is the capacity to work creatively, constructively and effectively with individuals, families, groups, organizations and communities to promote social justice, catalyze social change and address individual and social problems. Leaders accomplish this by inspiring vision, offering direction and supporting individual and collective action in order to obtain valued results. Concept of leadership. Leadership involves establishing a clear vision, sharing that vision with others so that they will follow willingly, providing the information, knowledge and methods to realize that vision, coordinating and balancing the conflicting interests of all members and stakeholders. A leader steps up in times of crisis and is able to think and act creatively in difficult situations. Unlike management, leadership cannot be taught, although it may be learned and enhanced through coaching and mentoring. First, traditional leadership theory. Traditional leadership theories are those which were originally formulated in 1960s or earlier. These focus on the relationship between the leader and his or her subordinates in terms of predicting outcomes such as performance. Next is trait approach. It emphasizes the personal characteristics of the leader from non-leader. They are based on the premise that leaders are born, not made. That is, the leadership is largely innate rather than being developed through learning. Next, leadership style approach. It emphasizes leader behavior. In this theory, leadership recognized that leaders might be described in terms of what they actually do, their behavioral style, rather than just the traits that they possess. The underlying distinction in the behavioral style approach is between two different styles of leadership: task orientation and relationship orientation. Task orientation is where the leader is concerned with task related activities such as allocating tasks and setting deadlines. Example, autocratic leadership. Next, relationship orientation. It is where the leader is concerned with the subordinates such as being friendly and approachable, developing communication and encouraging participation. Example, democratic. Next, new leadership theory. This is emerged during 1980s as the business environment became more turbulent and characterized by change. This new leadership includes charismatic leadership and the highly influential transformational transactional leadership. Next, types of leadership: autocratic leadership, bureaucratic leadership, charismatic leadership, democratic leadership or participative leadership, people-oriented leadership or relationship-oriented leadership, task-oriented leadership, transactional leadership and Transformational Leadership. First, Autocratic Leadership. Autocratic leadership is an extreme form of transactional leadership where a leader exerts high level of power over his or her employees or team members. People within the team are given few opportunities for making suggestions. Because of this, autocratic leadership usually leads to high levels of absenteeism and volunteers staff turnover. Also, the team's output does not benefit from the creativity and experience of all team members. So, many of the benefits of teamwork are lost. It is the speed with which decision can be made. The leader does not have to obtain group members' approval before deciding. It helps to develop a good discipline. All are accountable to the leader. Members in the organization are undervalued. Autocrat leader does have negative impact upon group morale. Hitler can be considered as autocratic leader. Next is bureaucratic leadership. Bureaucratic leaders work by the rule, ensuring that their staff follow procedures exactly. This is a very appropriate style for working involving serious safety risks such as working with machinery or with toxic substances, or where large sums of money are involved such as cash handling. The inflexibility and high levels of control exerted can demoralize staff and can diminish the organization's ability to react to changing external circumstances. Next leadership is charismatic leadership. A charismatic leadership style can appear similar to a transformational leadership style in that the leader injects huge doses of enthusiasm into his or her team and is very energetic in driving others forward. Charismatic leadership carries great responsibility. However, a charismatic leader can tend to believe more in him or herself than in their team. This can create a risk that a project or even an entire organization might collapse if the leader were to leave. Hence, there is a need for long-term commitment from the leader. Next is democratic leadership or participative leadership. Although a democratic leader will make the final decision, he or she invites other members of the team to contribute to the decision-making process. This not only increases job satisfaction by involving team members in what's going on, but it also helps to develop people skills. Employees and team members feel in control of their own destiny and so are motivated to work hard by more than just a financial reward. As participation takes time, this style can lead to things happening more slowly than an autocratic approach, but often the end result is better. It can be more suitable where team working is essential and quality is more important than speed to market or productivity. It often enhances morale of the team. It increases acceptance of management ideas. It increases cooperation between leader and team members. It leads to reduction in number of complaints and grievances. It accounts for slow decision. It dilutes accountability for decisions. Next is people-oriented leadership or relations-oriented leadership. This style of leadership is the opposite of task-oriented leadership. The leader is totally focused on organizing, supporting, and developing the people in the leader's team. A participative style, it tends to lead to good teamwork and creative collaboration. However, taken to extremes, it can lead to failure to achieve the team's goals. In practice, most leaders use both task-oriented and people-oriented styles of leadership. Next is task-oriented leadership. A highly task-oriented leader focuses only on getting the job done and can be quite autocratic. He or she will actively define the work and the roles required, put structures in place, plan, organize, and monitor. However, as task-oriented leaders spare little thought for the well-being of their teams, this approach can suffer many of the flaws of autocratic leadership, with difficulties in motivating and retaining staff. Next, transactional leadership. This style of leadership starts with the premise that team members agree to obey their leader totally when they take a job on. The transaction is usually that the organization pays the team members in return for their effort and compliance. As such, the leader has the right to punish team members if their work doesn't meet the predetermined standard. Team members can do little to improve their job satisfaction under transactional leadership. The leader could give team members some control of their income or reward by using incentives that encourages even higher standards or greater productivity. Next, transformational leadership. A person with this leadership style is a true leader who inspires his or her team with a shared vision of the future. Transformational leaders are highly visible and spend a lot of time communicating. They don't necessarily lead from the front, as they tend to delegate responsibility among their team. While their enthusiasm is often infectious, they can need to be supported by people. First, characteristics of leadership. Traits of a good leader are common across geographical regions. Community leadership is unique in its approach and goals. In addition to traits of superior leadership in any discipline, such as integrity and responsibility, here are 10 characteristics that are particular to become excellent community leaders. First, maximize individual strengths. Community leaders often work with volunteers. They may be elected by members of the community, assigned to work with a group, or they simply step forward and want to help. In any case, community leaders rarely have the luxury of choosing who they work with. The job involves being able to identify the strengths and interests of each person in the community and maximize those talents and skills in a way that keeps them engaged in the work. The leaders need to feel that they are making a meaningful contribution to the community and the work. Second is, balance the needs of your leadership group. Some individuals may have a strong need for control. Others may have a deep need to be appreciated for their time and service. As a community leader, the job is to balance everyone's needs as well as keep focused on the work that need to be done for the group to move forward. Third, work as a team. Community leadership means that one person does not do it all. An efficient leader will take a task away from someone who is not completing their work in a timely manner. An effective leader will ensure that the person gets the support they need to complete the task. Effectiveness often takes more time than efficiency. Community leadership is about building relationships and working together, being patient with one another and supporting one another builds capacity and relationships. Next characteristic is mobilize others. Mobilizing others is not about telling them what to do or dictating how things need to get done. It is about finding a balance between what needs to be done, who can do it, who is willing and has time to do it, assigning the work and then showing appreciation for others' efforts. Learning to have some fun while you work together is also an important aspect of mobilizing and motivating others. Next characteristic is pitch in. In a community, leading by example is often the most effective way. Next characteristic, practice stewardship. Stewardship means working together to protect, preserve and take care of the community. This involves renewing, repairing, rebuilding and constantly reviewing the physical community to ensure that it is healthy, strong and well maintained. Next, be accountable to the community. Community leadership is not just about policies, processes or procedures. More than anything, it is about people. The leadership team has to focus on why they are doing what they are doing and why they are really making decisions. Next characteristic is think forward. Being a community leader means not only thinking for today or for tomorrow, but being able to make wise decisions that will still benefit the residents long after the current leadership team is gone. Next, recruit and mentor new leaders. Planning for the future is an important aspect of community leadership. Having a healthy base of volunteers and having individuals ready to take on new positions are indicators of a healthy community. Community leadership work means building a succession plan to keep the community strong as it moves forward into the future. And the last characteristic is walk beside, don't lead from above. Community leadership is about developing every person's capacity for leadership, starting with self-leadership and self-responsibility. There are no special privileges that put community leaders above others who live in the community. Every member of the community has responsibilities and rights. Community leaders walk beside others and listen to them. Next, functions of leadership. First, to act as a representative. Leader is the link between community and others, that is government or other agencies, etc. He has to communicate the problems and difficulties of the community. Next, to develop team spirit. One of the core functions of the leader is that to create a team spirit in between the members of the community. They should act as a team rather than performing as individuals. It is his responsibility to create a pleasant atmosphere, keeping in view the needs, potential abilities and competencies. Next, to act as a counselor. When the community faces problems, the leader has to guide and advise them. There may be situations which are out of control. In that situation, leader must stand behind them to encourage and support and find a solution for the problem. Next, proper use of power. Leader must be careful while exercising his power or authority. According to the situation, he may exercise different types of powers like reward power, corrective power, coercive power, expert power, formal or informal power, etc. for the positive response. Make sure that while using the power, the response from the community should not yield a negative response to the group work. Leader must analyze the situation before exercising his power. Next, time management. Leader must ensure the timely completion of the work while ensuring the quality and efficiency of the work. The timely completion of the individual tasks will ensure the completion of the group work. Leader should monitor and ensure the individual tasks at different stages that are accomplished as per the plan. Next, secure effectiveness of group effort. To get the maximum contribution towards the achievement of objectives, the leader must delegate authority, ensure the availability of the adequate resources, provide for a reward system to improve the efficiency of capable workmen, invite participation of those in decision making, and communicate necessary information to the community. Next, let us see the leadership development skills. First, the ability to work with people. Next, the ability to work on issues. The ability to conduct meetings. The ability to administer an organization. The ability to be strategic and tactical. The ability to deal with finance issues. The ability to conduct research, the ability to effectively communicate, the ability to use media, the ability to conduct training, the ability to understand organizational culture, the ability to work with other organizations, the ability to be political, that is, knowing how to work with elected representatives. This is all about leadership. Any doubts?
Hello, I am Monica. I have a doubt. What is the difference between democratic leadership and bureaucratic leadership?
Democratic leadership is similar to charismatic leadership. The leadership tends to believe more in him or herself than in their team. Bureaucratic leadership, the leadership believes in work by rule principle. Any more questions? Well then, this is all about leadership. Thank you.